Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And you are the Queen of Pentacles right now. I feel like you are someone who has a lot of practical wisdom. I feel like you know how to do things. Yeah, like you're like physical, like practical things. Like you're good at fixing things. I feel like you know how to do a lot of like odds and ends, like odd jobs and things around the house. Yeah. And I feel that's really a good energy for you right now. I think that this is like, let's take care of, the resources that we have. Let's maintain what we've got now. This is a very resourceful energy, okay? This is a very kind of an earth wisdom, practical and almost utilitarian kind of care about things, right? Prioritize your body, prioritize your home. Food, rest, environment, comfort, warmth. That's the vibe right now. Your space should be supportive of you. Okay? It should be organized, should be cozy, it should be functional. Okay? Protect your resources, protect your energy, make your resources work for you. I think that you're very creative when it comes to solving practical problems in like very simple ways. I'm getting a little bit of like a MacGyver vibe here with you, where it's just like, you know how to use the duct tape and rubber bands and, whatever it takes to sort of hold something together. Okay? But I feel like you're starting to lean into more routines that are making your life feel better, feel gentler, feel more sustainable. Okay? Really focusing on, almost like clean living, clean eating, and really try, maybe you're like living off the land or like something, something that's like a sustainable lifestyle. Yeah. This card is really about us kind of like momming our own life, mothering ourselves, mothering our own life. This is mature care. This is love expressed in the realm of tangible things. This is like, you're the one that's, if somebody's having a big crisis in their life, you're the one that's going to go over and fix their water heater or bring them the soup or bring them the casserole, or you're going to go and say, I'll pick up your kids from school for you while you're dealing with whatever's going on. Like you're not just there to sort of sympathize or offer pity. You're there to say, what can I do to help? Like, I'll go run those, I'll go pick up the groceries for you, I'll come over and clean your house so you don't have to, because you're going through something. Like that's your vibe, And I feel like sometimes this is for you, and sometimes this kind of the same energy is going to make your own life a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more livable. Let's put this into some context. This is really, really wonderful energy. And we've got a 10 of Swords. We have a 9 of Wands. We have a Queen of Wands. 4 of Cups. And a Knight of Pentacles. Interesting now, the Queen and the Knight. See, the Queen is also looking at the past. Both of these queens, right? Looking at the past. Looking at past manifestations, looking at past effort that's led to present conditions. everything that you have done, all of your effort in the past, like you've earned your repose. This is somebody who had to be very strong, stand very tall, very independent for a long time. Now it's kind of like you've earned the right to sort of sit and relax. You know, like you've built this life around you, and it's really important that you enjoy this. Well, you got interesting 10 of swords there. We have an 8 of pentacles, a 6 of pentacles, very good earth energy today. 2 of pentacles, we're going to go 4 for 4. No, we've got that 7 of cups. So there are things that you need to sort of clean out of your life, as it were. Okay, making room for more of the good stuff. I think we need to. Purify some things and purge some things and clean out some rooms in our house. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it here with Bubo, the mechanical owl. Right there on top, we're not going to release that kraken until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below the video. Now, as we look around the room here, the one thing we notice is that there are no major arcana cards. And I think that, really what this is saying is that this is a time for you to clean out your closets. This is the time for you to kind of spend time at home doing things that you need to do, getting things done around the house that you need to. Not really, and in a way, I kind of feel like we're getting our house in order to prepare ourselves for what is to come. And that's why we've got Queen, Queen, and Knight. Past, and future. Really, the Queen of Pentacles is ready to make the transition from the past to the future. And kind of is saying like, okay, we're coming to the end of a cycle for one thing, because we have the 10 of Swords. And realizing that, maybe the future has to look a little bit different. Maybe it's like I can't burn the candle at both ends like I used to. Maybe this is like we've got to slow down a little bit. We've got to try to find a way to streamline things or simplify, or even with that Queen of Pentacles and her practical wisdom, what kind of like gadgets can I build or make or buy that will make this task a little bit easier? We're trying to put together a bookshelf. We're not going to screw the thing in with our fingernail, right? You ever try to do that? You're not going to do that. You're gonna look around for something. I know, a screwdriver. That's so much easier. And that's just a manual screwdriver. What if we got a ratchet? What if we got an electric screwdriver? What if we got like one of those pneumatic drills and we just burp and it's done? So I think that this is about trying to move forward in a way that is a little bit more streamlined. Making our life easier, using perhaps new technologies or new techniques or new methods that are going to allow us to kind of continue building something. A lot of earth energy here. Continue moving forward in a very practical way, but one where there is less, let's say, less unnecessary energy expenditure. Okay. So to me, the we have the 8 of Pentacles, but the 10 of Swords is kind of like we're getting out of that old mindset that is kind of like if we want something done right, we have to do it the hard way. It's kind of and I think we all think that way a little bit. We all believe that if something is worthwhile, if something really is going to be built solidly, it has to cost a fortune. It has to take years to build. It has to be just grueling, and it has to just take everything from us. And I think that's kind of like an old way of thinking. This is an old mental structure that's collapsing. Okay, so what I have here with the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords is that the old way of doing things is not the right way anymore. And of course, the Queen of Pentacles is that type of person that has their way of doing things. I like to wash the dishes the way I do it. This is how I've always done it, and this is how I will always do it. No, I think with the Ten of Swords here, you're thinking like, you're ready to to innovate. You know, you're ready to catch up with technology, or to realize that there are tools around me. There are other things available to me, other ideas, other ways of doing things, other systems, other methodologies that may work better than what I've been doing. It takes a real maturity to understand that. Because now you're realizing that, okay, maybe the way I was approaching something isn't the best way. You know, letting this old mental structure collapse is going to free you to imagine life outside its walls. This is the birdcage card. And this is you getting out of the birdcage. And I don't think this is like a relationship that's keeping you small. I feel like this is kind of our approach to something. Or it's like, you know, maybe you're kind of old school. You like doing things the old way. You know, the old way, let's say, you know, the old way of like making pasta or something, you know, like it takes days and days. I don't know if it really does or not. Or like, you know, I can't think of the process, but something that back in the so-called olden days, it would take months to build. And it would take a lot of energy and a lot of resources. And now it can be done in seconds. Okay? It's kind of like you're switching from doing long division on the paper to beep, calculator. Revolutionized, you know, everything when we invented the calculator. I don't know how that came about, but kind of understanding that it's okay for us to use that kind of technology, especially with all the earth energy. I feel like you like to do things the hands-on way. You like to really just get in there, and it's just like, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it the way my ancestors did it. And I think that's wonderful to be able to know how to do that. And that is truly awesome energy. I think the Ten of Swords is here to say that there's something in your life that, yes, you know how to do it the old school, real way, the right way to do it, yes. But I feel like there's the need for you to just kind of like do it the streamlined, do it the easy way right now, if that makes sense to you. Okay? Consider the benefit of the way that you've been doing something. I don't know, this could be just like the way you wash the dishes or the way you do the laundry. I like to do the laundry the way I like to do it. We're doing it the old school way. Just I'm at the side of a creek on the rock, and I'm just scraping them on the rock and stuff. Okay, yeah, that may be the right way to do it. But now we have machines where it's, you know, doesn't take as much of your personal time. It still takes time, effort, energy, money, and space. But maybe it's like your time is going to be better spent doing something else in your life than having to devote that much time to that particular task when there is a kind of a streamlined way to do it. And this isn't a judgment. This isn't saying that one way's right, one way's wrong. This is saying that you don't have to do things the long, drawn-out way where you've got to sit there and you've got to be attentive to it the entire time. You know, so I kind of feel that there's this kind of upgrade of technology kind of thing that's allowing you to get way more things done way quicker. Okay. And, you know, if this is business or if this is just at home or if it's at school or something, yeah, it's kind of like saying it's good to know how to do the long division. But right now it's important that you're just able to use the calculator. It's faster, it's accurate, and it's going to help you get through this because maybe there's a timeline, maybe there's a deadline. It's kind of like also, do you have to do all the tasks yourself? It's kind of like, well, yeah, the laundry needs to get done. Okay, so I got to take all the laundry down to the river, and I got to scrape it on the rocks. I got to walk a mile there, a mile back, and it's going to take me 3 weeks. Okay, maybe your time is better spent doing something else. Maybe you can automate that. Okay? So that's what I'm feeling anyway with the, and that just kind of popped into my head with that 10 of Swords. The nine of Wands down here is a very strong card. And to me, it feels like somebody who does not like to really change the way that they're doing things. It can be kind of rigid, because it can be this energy that says, once I really get locked in on a certain path or a certain methodology or a certain technique, I stick with it. We don't change easily. We don't bend. We don't break. We endure. And so it's kind of like, I don't know. It's the way my grandma, she's in her 90s. She's 90, almost 96 now. And she still likes to do things the old way. She will still, kind of like walk down to the corner store or walk down to the department store to shop or whatever. Or she'll write handwritten letters, let's say, and mail, put a stamp on them, then she'll walk them to the post office and mail them, and sometimes it's going to be a lot easier if she makes a phone call, or if she sends an email, or it's like something like that. If it's some official kind of paperwork for her retirement or her medical stuff, or maybe you should just get online and do it online, because it's going to be a lot easier than spending the 2 weeks doing the post office kind of back and forth thing, right? But she gets locked into the way that that's how she's always done it. And my grandma doesn't like technology. She won't use a cell phone. She's never used a computer. Her telephone still has the spiral cord attached to the handset. And actually, she still has the rotary dial, if anybody remembers the rotary. And so it's not easy to upgrade, in life. But I feel like this is an energy that's saying, like, your effort matters. Your time, effort, energy, money, and space are very valuable resources. Okay? And you have this inner strength where you can do it. You can take the laundry down to the river to wash the clothes. But it doesn't mean you have to. You're capable of doing that. But we need to be flexible, because I feel like your time right now is very valuable. And so where can it be better spent? Okay? Where can you put your effort, all of this wonderful strength that you have? You have such an inner strength. Like you have this endurance. You're going to do things the hard way if you have to, and you're not going to quit. You won't give up. You're taking the laundry back and forth. You're fine. You're not going to get too tired. Where can you take that strength and apply it to something else while you let the washing machine do the clothes or something like that? You know what I mean? So your focused effort, we're trying to protect what you've built. And I think when you commit to something, you don't bend on that. Okay? But I think right now there's too many things. There are too many things that need to get done. And we can't do everything the so-called old school way, because there's no way we can keep up with everything. And I feel like life has gotten very fast. Life has accelerated. And it may just be that we kind of need to catch up. And what I mean by that is we can use some of this technology that's here so that we don't have to spend all of our resources doing these tasks that could be done in an easier, more streamlined way. Okay? So you can do everything that you need to do right now. You don't have to destroy yourself to do it. See, your strength and endurance. It's not punishing ourselves. It's commitment, right? That's guided by wisdom. So you have the commitment here. Now we need the wisdom to say, what's the easier way to do this? Okay? How can I leverage everything I've got here to make this work without you having to really break your back, doing it? Okay? But with this Queen of Wands back here, there is this confidence, there is this leadership, there is an independence. Okay? You like to lead by example. And I think that you show people the right way of doing this. Kind of like, you're trying to set the standard for everybody in your life. And so you're doing things the right way. And you're definitely not cutting corners. You're taking the long way around. You're not taking shortcuts. You're taking the long cut, And I think that it is inspiring, and it is motivating for other people. Yeah. And I think that there's a stubbornness with this one. I think that, this is some of the only fire we have in the reading. This is a very fiery person, these two especially. This is not somebody that is going to take any kind of shortcuts or do things the easy way. Okay? And I'm not saying do things the easy way. I'm saying just do them the easier way. Yeah. But you have a leadership about you, and a confidence and an independence. And I feel that you've earned, because I feel like you've done things the hard way for a long time. Because for a long time, that was the only way to do them. If you wanted something done, you had to be there, you had to take the laundry down to the river, and you had to scrape it on the rock. Now there are easier ways to do it, and I think that you deserve the easier way. You've proven yourself. You've done it. You've suffered. You've sacrificed. You lived like no one else. So now you get to live like no one else. It's kind of like the Queen of Pentacles saying, you know what? I'm allowed to take shortcuts now. Because for, 50 years I've been doing things, walking through the snow uphill both ways to school. Now I deserve to just like someone to drive me, And I think that this is the right attitude. I'm allowed to kick my feet up because I've put in the work. I feel like that's what Spirit's trying to tell you right now. You've put in the work. You have earned your repose. And it's time that you take it. Yeah, time for luxury. 4 of Cups. It's saying, oh, a laundry machine, a washing machine in your house or apartment, that's a luxury. Yeah, it is. It is a luxury, and it's one that you've earned. And so I feel like Spirit's telling you, don't feel bad about taking the luxuries. Don't feel bad about enjoying these things that make your life easier. Yeah, I mean, and you don't have to completely lose touch with everything that you've ever done. We see kind of the cliched, kind of humorous story about someone that discovers technology and pretty soon they're just like, they forget how to do everything, and everything is just a computer or a gadget or a device or something. Like, you're not going to lose touch with that kind of primitive, old school, like really like grounded, earthy way of doing things. But you're just going to realize that you can have some comfort too, that you deserve a little bit of rest. Yeah. You deserve the good food, the soft clothes, the quiet time, the ease, the luxuries that life can offer you right now. We live in an amazing time. There are opportunities, okay, all over the place. It's kind of like the difference between, back in the day, just not too long ago, you wanted to film something like this. I would have to rent a studio. I'd have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on cameras and lights. and technicians to run everything, and put the set together, pay somebody to do that or whatever, rent the space, and then film everything onto actual tape, like VHS tapes or whatever the film reels are, and that costs money, and then find some place to edit that, like literally editing the tape, like cutting it and gluing it together to edit stuff. And then packaging it all and marketing it all and finding some way to distribute all those VHS tapes. It would be impossible. I mean, they did it somehow. I don't think I could do it. It's the difference between that and then something like we have this, now we have YouTube. Isn't it crazy? Anybody can pick up just a relatively cheap camera, a phone, and film something and put it on YouTube, which is a free platform, they do the distribution for you. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. And, and then suddenly your message is out there to the entire world. You're not limited by, like, you paid for, 100 copies of your VHS tape, and then you got to try to sell them or whatever you do. This is as many copies as there needs to be. Everybody in the world could be watching this video on their phone, and I hope they will one day. But it's kind of like, why would we then keep doing that's like a legacy model. That's like the old, antiquated kind of way of doing it. Kind of moving into the modern age here. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe of your life right now. Still wanting to know how to do those real things, how to do things that kind of like hands-on way, but also leveraging technology to make your life easier. Bottom line. Maybe this was a very long-winded way to say that, but leveraging everything you can to make your life a little easier so that you can continue to do the things that you want to do and build the life you want to live in a way that actually is practical and doable now. Okay? It's doable now. And so even if we have a bias against technology, it's the only way we're going to get the things done now. Okay? It'd be impossible if we demanded that we edit our video with actual tape and scissors and glue and like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how I would do that nowadays. I don't know if those tools are even still there. My camera certainly doesn't have any tape in it, So even if I wanted to do things that old school way, maybe that's the real way to do it, I couldn't. You couldn't. So I think that, it's so much more available to us now if we understand how to leverage the technology and the opportunities and the platforms and the media and the methodologies, the tools that are available to us. Because we're thinking long-term build. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles looking into the future and seeing, what's it going to be like in 10 years? What's the big picture construction here, and how do I get on board? We don't want to get stuck in the past. We got to commit to the long-term path, and we have to act in alignment to that. With that Four of Cups, we need to figure out a way to do it in the best way possible, the easiest way, I guess. Well, when I say the easy way, I'm not saying we just phone it in. I'm not saying we just kind of mail it in and we don't care. No, what I'm saying, we don't have to waste our precious effort on tasks that now can be outsourced, automated. We have the luxuries of a washing machine. So now we can spend our time doing other very important tasks because we don't have to spend 3 weeks doing the laundry. So you're still leading by example. I think you've leveraged your practical wisdom, and I feel that we're moving forward. You're building structures now that can stand the test of time. Yeah. So you're sort of adapting to the way the world is changing around you. Yeah. And that's, to me, that feels like maturity. That willingness to invest in what's going to last. Investing in the future. Yeah. Laying the foundation for a very stable and successful future. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Your general energy is the 8 of Pentacles, prudence. Careful effort. Paying attention to all the details. Like you're the one, you want to go, you want to oversee every aspect of the work. That's craftsmanship. And that's something that's kind of important to you, right? Craftsmanship. Meaning I want to spend, if it takes me, 3 weeks or 3 years to carve a canoe, I'm going to do it by hand. And it's going to be a handcrafted canoe, rather than just going down to the corner store and 3D printing one for $5 and I get it the next day or something. I don't know. It's doing things that real kind of old world way. Hands-on, patiently, crafting it slowly, sanding it down by hand. No cutting corners. See, this is your general energy. So I'm not telling you to cut corners. Okay? I'm telling you that, yes, you want to do things of a high quality and high caliber. But if we streamline and if we take advantage of some of the luxuries of life, because, well, we've earned the right. You've earned the right to use a screwdriver rather than your fingernail. It's not sacrificing the quality of your work, but it's protecting your finger. I've tried to do that with the fingernail. It hurts. So it's kind of like you're protecting yourself. You're treating yourself very kindly. We don't have to do things literally by hand the same way we used to. And we can leverage the technology so that we aren't putting ourselves physically in a deficit. But we don't sacrifice quality either. Okay? You're still focusing on building something long term. And I think it requires that we kind of stay updated, we stay current with the state of the art. That's the phrase that I'm looking for, the state of the art. And when I was a kid, state of the art meant something like the flashiest kind of gadget that they can make that probably doesn't work very well. It's at the cutting edge. And so it's like, there's still some bugs in it, But I feel like we're staying current. We're reading the trade magazine so we can see like how is technology developing around us so that we can keep up. And we can leverage some of those things that are going to make our lives easier. If we can get the washing machine to wash our clothes, then I can spend more time with my family. I can spend more time in the garden. I can spend more time creating something else. Okay. And the 6 here, 6 of Pentacles, is success and support, and it's the payoff. And it's basically saying that if we switch our mindset, are we noticing a net gain in our productivity or in our lives or in the quality of our lives? Or does it create success? If we find more luxuries in life, is our life getting better or worse? Better or perhaps up here worse, right? Okay. Does it mean that we have more money, more energy coming in or less? Okay, what is the state of that? I think it's a win. I think this is superabundance. I think that this is you making some changes in your physical processes, your physical tasks, the way that your methodologies, making some small changes here and there, slowly, gradually, but continuously. and seeing more and more benefit from that. If your world is getting bigger, if your success is growing larger, if whatever you're building is you're seeing more profit from this, and you keep doing it. But if you feel like that Seven of Cups might suggest, that you feel like all of these luxuries and all of these gadgets and all of these new technologies and methodologies are actually making your life worse or diminishing the quality of your life, then you stop. But also having the clarity to recognize that clinging to the old schematic, the old blueprint, or the old manual, the old operating manual, the old operating system, clinging to the old technique may be diminishing the quality of your life. Yeah. So the Two of Pentacles is that difficult card. It's in the position of your fear, worry, concern. Gives you anxiety, this idea of change. This idea of kind of changing the way that you do something. You know, the way that you wash the dishes. It's kind of like I'm kind of nervous. I'm apprehensive about changing the way I wash the dishes because it's been working. Well, yeah, but it takes me all day, and I break at least one plate every night. And if I cling to that, then I kind of feel that Seven of Cups energy where it's just like I was putting something on a pedestal that really, it was an attachment. It wasn't really making my life better. Whereas if I say, okay, well, maybe I can get the washing machine or the dishwasher, or I can change it. Maybe you still want to do the dishes by hand. There's something really special about that, isn't there? I like to wash the dishes by hand. Maybe I can just do it differently. Maybe I can use a different kind of brush or a different kind of soap now that's going to make it easier for me. It's actually going to be of a higher quality at the end of the day. I want to look at the mystery card. It's very, very interesting reading for you. So, what can this be? Well, maybe this will be the Empress. Maybe this will be maybe another card of change. Maybe the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. King of Pentacles. A fixed earth energy saying, I don't wish to move. I don't wish to change. This is somebody that's been sitting in that same position for so long that the world has changed behind them. They're stuck in that chair. They haven't moved. And the vines, the earth, all the vegetation has just grown over their body because they haven't moved. This is somebody that refuses to change. I do things the way I do them, and that's it. Meanwhile, the buildings behind them, right? It's kind of like one of those. It's like a time lapse sort of shot, right? Where this person's sitting there in their chair, not moving, and cities, whole civilizations are rising up and crumbling down behind them. And the vines, the ivy, and all the flora has overtaken their throne, and they're just still sitting there, holding on to whatever they're grasping, you know. We don't want to be that person. We need to be flexible. We need to be adaptable. We need to innovate. We need to move with the times. Okay, and you will find such high quality of life. You've done things the hard way for a long time. You deserve a little bit of ease and comfort because that's going to allow you to focus on other things. It's like if you're running a business. You know, yeah, you've mopped the floors, and you'll mop the floors any day of the week if you need to, because that's what you do. That's what you have to do if you're running a business. You have to be willing to do any job. But if you're mopping the floor every single day, then you're missing out on a lot of opportunities that are actually going to grow the business. Because you're not able to put your attention into those things that are actually going to make the money. You hire somebody to mop the floors. You get a machine to do it. Get one of those Roombas or something. because there are other places for you to be, right? Where your effort and your time is going to be better spent doing something that's going to build up the life and bring in more abundance. Grow the business. You're out there making sales or something. You're out there coming up with new ideas. You're out there building more prototypes or something like that. You don't have to be the one like licking the envelopes to mail the flyers, or you know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with doing that. You've done that for a long time. I worked in the mailroom for a long time too. There's nothing wrong with doing that work, but it's like if you can automate that, if you can get a machine that'll lick the envelopes, well, then you can do something else that will improve the quality of this life. Okay? Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn. Well, readings are every day. Okay? The schedule has been changing. I wasn't going to bring it up, but since I already mentioned the schedule. New readings will be coming, I promise. Don't fret over the schedule, okay? I'll post something very, very soon, as soon as I get things figured out. Okay, I'm not sure exactly if it's going to be on Fridays or what day exactly, but just keep checking. I apologize for the confusion with the schedule. Leave a comment, let me know how you're doing. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I want you to know, Capricorn, that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.